Okay, welcome back to part 2. There might be a part 3. This is a mighty packed couple of verses. So if you didn't watch part 1, make sure to watch part 1. We're talking about Jacob in Genesis chapter 24, chapter 23, verses 24, 25, and a few more verses after that. When Jacob is wrestling with God. What we talked about just a moment ago is that Jacob never lets go. And what's interesting also about this truth in the scriptures is that the man approaches Jacob. God initiated it, and Jacob wrestled with him until dawn. That is a long time. How long have you been wrestling with your faith? How long have you been waiting on God's promise? How long and what have you gone through in the process of pressing in faith? How many disappointments have you needed to endure because God's answer to you, just as it was to Jacob when Jacob asked for the man's name, he didn't get it? How many things have you wrestled with God for? To not get the answer, to not get the outcome, to not get the desire of your heart when you wanted it. That is not a reason to let go of God. That is a reason to cling to Him even more. I truly believe that when Jacob's hip got dislocated during the wrestling, he clung harder. He put his weight into the man. He didn't back away from the man. But in today's society, it is way too easy and way too many churches condone receding to rest because life is difficult. We do not recede to rest. We press in and find rest. Jacob put his weight on the man. We are called to put our weight on Jesus so that He can then be our source of strength and stability. And the result of Jacob not letting go was a new name and fulfilled promises. And Jacob had a deeper relationship with God. See, when we walk away from the wrestling, when we walk away from the battle, when we walk away because it's too difficult, we're too tired, it's too hard, there's too much opposition, the community says this, my boss says that, the culture says this, oh, if you only knew the woes of which I have. You know who knows? God knows. Stop using the experiences of this world as an excuse to let go of God. Stop using the pain of the battle as a reason to tap out. A dislocated hip hurts. Disappointment hurts. Life circumstances create pain. But that's not a reason to let go of God. Jacob gives us the example of pressing all the more into it. Into it. Jacob was alone. Do you spend alone time with God, or are you a Sunday only? Well, I go to Sundays, I go on Sunday, and I go to discipleship group, or I go to Bible study. Oh, and I listen to the Bible on my app. Are you studying the Word? Are you giving God your full attention, or are you listening to the app as you sit and do something else? See, Jacob was alone and God met Jacob. Are you alone? Are you setting an atmosphere where you have put everything else off? No phone, no people, no television, no work, and it's just you waiting for the encounter with God. I encourage you to take the example that Jacob gives us and stay in the battle. Don't let go. Make time to have the encounter. And then allow God to make the experience. And don't expect the experience to be but what you think you need. Trust that God knows what you need when you need it, and how that match is going to go down. Something that is pretty profound is Jacob never let go, and then God let Jacob win. You cling and trust God to release the win over your life at just the right time. Keep walking and wrestling in faith.